Okay, so in today's video, I'm gonna be explaining to the new barbers the importance of a barber chair, your lighting, and your mirror, and some other tips and tricks for new barbers. Okay, so first I want to start off by talking about the barber chair. So this chair I got at Minerva, which is it's actually located in Georgia. It's called Minerva Beauty, and they got some really good quality chairs. So I've had this chair for like a few years now. So you definitely want a chair that can go up, obviously, down, and lean back. Now at first, if you don't have a lot of money, just try to start off with at least a chair that can spin around and go up and down if it doesn't lean back. But so you can lean it back, do the beards, the lineups, whatever. So you definitely want a good quality chair that can go up and down. Why? Because you don't want to be necessarily walking around them the whole haircut. So imagine if they got a chair that's stationary and then you got to keep walking around, or imagine if they're very short, you need them higher up, or vice versa. So you definitely want a chair that goes up, down, spins around, and can be leaned back, ideally. So lighting, artificial lighting, ring lights, bar lights, lights that come from the top. Right here I have a light that comes straight down, but that's just not enough. And I got two ring lights, this little light. So let me show you why it's important to have the chair that spins around, also because of the different lighting. So you always want the lighting to be behind you wherever you're cutting. So therefore, if I'm cutting on this side, I want to be able to have it coming this way from where I'm cutting. So you're going to want to angle it, play with it to get the perfect lighting. Then if you want to go a little extra to get it from the different angles from this side, I just noticed that sometimes when I would spin the client around and they would see themselves in the mirror, they would think the haircut was a little off because it was so bright from this side and not so much from this side. And then sometimes I'd find myself coming and cutting on this side. So therefore, ideally, I like to have two lights. And then I just got this one for. So the importance of that is obviously for different shadows that you're gonna see in the hair. So definitely you're gonna want some good lighting. Just wanted to make a quick note that natural lighting, as you can see right here, is coming from the outside. Natural lighting is actually the best lighting. Obviously the problem is that you gotta be towards the window, but if you could get natural lighting, it's even better than ring lights. Okay, now I wanna talk about the importance of having a mirror. The mirror is not just for the client to be able to look at themselves. The mirror actually is used as a guide for when you're cutting and when you're fading. So I'm gonna show you all an example with a mannequin. Okay, so as an example, I'm gonna use this dummy doll, the mannequin head. I'm gonna put it kind of around where the client's head would be. They would actually be here, but for right now, let's put it right here. So imagine that's the client. Okay, now I'm gonna show you how it looks with the lighting. So this will be a good way of showing you how the lighting works. So my ring lights right now are completely off. So now look at the difference when the light is on. Now that's just one ring light. So see if they put their head down. See how bright it is? And imagine if I spin them around. See how much light I get from this side? But now if I was on this side, it would look darker. So that's the whole point of having the different lights. So now I'm gonna turn on the other ring light. So right now I just have the one ring light that is set up behind there. Now watch the difference with the ring light from this side. And now I'm gonna put the one that I have in the middle, the bar. See all that extra lighting? How you could see, obviously it's a mannequin, but see, you could see every single dot, every grain. And as I spin them around, you got good lighting from different angles. Plus I got the lighting from above. So that's why the importance of the lighting. But now I'm gonna show you in terms of the mirror. So I'm gonna reflect it off of right here, the mirror. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. So you use the mirror as a guide. So while you're spinning the client around, you're actually looking to check what you're doing, to check your fading. You're actually, while you're cutting, then you're constantly looking back, because when you're looking from here straight on, there might be something that looks okay just because either they're lower or higher up or the lighting. But the way to check your fade is you always look on the mirror. That's why every barber has a mirror on their station. So as you go spinning them, you could go seeing how the fade is looking. So as you spin them, you go seeing how the results is actually on the mirror, and then as well as when you're gonna cut the top. So imagine we're gonna cut the top. Let me make sure you can see the mannequin. Okay, so that's when from the front you would use the mirror, so they're looking at themselves and then you could see. So let's say you're lining someone up, you're lining them up. I used to have the problems where this side would always drop for me. For some reason, I would always make the left side lower. So sometimes you could get in front, whatever. But if you really want to get a good look, you go behind. So by looking from behind, then you look straight ahead, then you'll have a better view of the lineup. So even right now with this mannequin, see I got a white shirt on, I could see how it's a little off. So I could then go ahead and touch this part up a little bit. Well, right now it's actually pressed down, but see how I could see the difference by looking at the mirror. And this is also a good way to see the sides. So then you can see if it's parallel. So that's also why you would use the mirror. And you could also, when you're gonna cut the top, they might say, give me 1 inch off, but some clients, they don't know exactly what an inch is. So this is where, if you're gonna cut the top, you would ask them, you would comb the hair up and say, how much? That much, so you could do 2 fingers, 3 fingers, however you want, and show them. That's why the importance of the mirror. Here's also a tip for when you lean the chair back. So when you lean the chair back for doing the beard, especially the bottom part of the beard, the lineup, it's good to lean them back at least a little bit. Ask them to lift their chin up comfortably. So when you're checking on the mirror, then you can see the bottom lineup. You can check your work, or also you could come from the sides. But how we were talking about before, how you would check the top of the hair, you would do the same thing for the bottom part right here. So if you look at the mirror, that's when you're checking for the bottom part right here. You're checking for the bottom lineup, and that's the way you can get the easiest, this is the easiest way to get that sharp lineup and make sure that it's even on the bottom of the neck, as well as the cheeks. From here, if you're looking straight ahead, you'll be able to check the lineup for the beard. You'll be able to tell if one side's higher, you could turn their head. But if you lean them back, that's when you can see the lineup on the top part right here. And then you can tell for the bottom too. So that's a little tip right there to get sharp lines and even lines for the beard. Okay, now I want to talk about real quick is how to hold the clipper, which I've noticed some videos don't even show you. So when you're going around the head, you're going to want to hold the clipper like this, right? Flat on their head. And then obviously towards the bottom. But once you start getting towards the top, see how there's a lot of bend? That's where you're going to want to hold it like this. So, I mean, I've gotten used to where I put my little thumb right here, and then I'll sometimes hold this just so it doesn't pop off. But I mean, if you don't want to, just hold it comfortably. And when you're freehanding, sometimes you're going to want to hold this part, especially for like curly hair. If you pick the hair out and you're doing all freehand with no guard, that's where you would hold your hand for balance. So you're kind of freehanding like this. So always hold on here for good balance. But if you're just using the guards, you could hold it like this, so you can hold it flat. So remember, for the top of the head, you're gonna hold the clipper upside down, whichever direction you're going. And then for the sides, that's when you hold the clipper going up. So basically you're feeding all the hairs in here. So if they don't get fed in there, they're not gonna get cut. But okay, those were some tips and tricks that hopefully that would help some of you beginner barbers. These are just stuff that came to mind recently. I wrote them down so I didn't forget, and I really wanted to share with you all. But also, if there's any things that you guys are struggling with, just put it in the comments or send me a message and let me know. And I'll be making more videos for beginner barbers as well as ones that are a little more advanced. But I'm gonna just continuously be trying to think of things that I struggled with at the beginning and things that I'm struggling with now. And if I found a way to make things easier, or someone showed me how to do something that I was struggling with, I'm gonna be sharing that with you all. So that's it for the video, and I'll catch you all on the next one.